Welcome back to Raising Jackson. Today's post will be about what we did with our OT at home and both in our therapy sessions, and just some little things that we got along the way to help do stuff at home. So I'll start. Previously I've mentioned that we did a lot of work with, and I'll just move this down so you can see. We've done a lot of work with soy foods. Now our favourite sort of soy foods were the ones that separated, and we would encourage sort of chopping and bits and bobs like that. I got these from Kmart for like, I feel like it was like $10 or $12. I don't spend a lot on these sort of things because you never know if they're going to work or not. So and he's got so many of these little things now, and as he got older we progressed to more lifelike ones, and he loves doing this. This is a lot of fun for him. And we also have like little pots for scooping, and these ones here, which you can teach about being hot. And we would have like several pots lined up, and he might scoop one thing to the next to the next. Good for motor skills, good for interaction with food, so that they're not expected to eat it because they are just scooping, say, water or a juice or a milk from one pot to the other. And like little tea party sets. This is good for sort of hand to mouth action. And then like this sort of style, and we practiced with sort of tongs, sort of serving yourself the dinner that you want. And today he's actually having some lunch, and he's having a piece of play pizza with his real lunch. So that's fine with me as long as he eats something. Another thing that we did was a tasting plate, and you would have heard me talk about chaining and stuff like that. So I would use a tasting plate to chain and not do it at meal times. So obviously he would have been presented with any of these on the table, not so much on his plate, but on the table prior to doing the tasting plate. And we use like sticks, especially in the beginning, because he doesn't like wet or crummy things on his hands. And I make sure that they're not touching. So that's important to him, that they don't touch, because if they touch, especially in the beginning, it sort of ruins, like if it's like that, it now ruins that. So we try not to do touching. Another thing that we would do while introducing, or even have this on the table in the early days, because he used to just frisbee things off the table, and that is very annoying. So another thing that we did early on is get like a container. Now you can use like a Tupperware container or whatever. Again, I wouldn't recommend spending a lot of money, so I just used sort of like a yogurt container or some other sort of food container, and you can cut a hole in the lid, and they can happily post it in the hole when they're done with the food. Like say they take a bite and they don't want it anymore, they can post it in the hole. Or if it has to be gone from the area, you can just quickly put it in there, lid on. Now it's not there anymore, and you move it away. So if it causes anxiety, you can just quickly make sure it's not clear. You can just quickly move it away. It's now gone. Put the lid on, which stops the sort of smell getting out, and now it's gone. So yeah, we used sticks, and we still will use these with new foods, because he doesn't like to touch a lot of things. And also he loves me feeding him with chopsticks. So that's just fun little ways he likes to eat his food. While they're sitting down to eat, a lot of them, especially my toddler, doesn't like he doesn't like sitting still, and he gets bored easily, and therefore he wants to get down and do something else. So this is more so when we're out. I pack all his foods into like individual compartments and containers, or in Ziploc bags. So encouraging him to interact with his food would be asking him to open the tubs himself. And then once it's on his plate, excuse me. Once it's on his plate, asking him to maybe stack the containers, open and shut the containers, just giving him something else to do. Just giving him something else to do. So, and he likes to play that sort of game. So we also did a book for him because he was most anxious when eating out. So I just went to, I think it was like Big W or Kmart or one of the chain stores with a bunch of pictures on my phone, and I made him, it's a time to eat book. Again, this is around between $10 and $15, depending if you go like a hardcover or a soft cover. And because we were doing sort of sign language with him, I have pictures like now it's time to eat, showing him the sign, and then the foods that he does eat, and just explaining a bit about that, you know, some of them are crunchy, some of them are slippery, you know, when you have to eat. So sometimes when you're playing, you have to stop what you're doing and eat your food. Like where you can eat, so maybe with your friends or at the shop or at a picnic, just sort of going through the motions. And then what you do before you eat, so you're playing, now you have to wash your hands, now you have to dry them, sit down, get your lunchbox, showing him the utensils for eating, and then again just some more different types of food and how they're consumed. So this can, and the reason we did it this way is because this was customized to his anxieties and customized to the foods that he liked, and we were just able to sort of do it specifically for him. We were just able to do it specifically for him. So I found this quite good. And I would take this out with us and we would read it, say before we sat down to lunch at a picnic, or, you know, in a social setting, I would read this book with his dinner. So he knows he has a dinner plate, his dinner plates, and his dinner plates are divided. Sometimes he will tolerate 2 or more known trusted foods in the one sort of compartment, but usually he likes them separate. And if I want to put any others, I sort of just put them on the side. They're pretty good there, but he has learnt he can pick them up and they're quite flexible. So another thing that we found quite good is we've tried every sippy cup on the market. Every single one. I can promise you, every bottle and sippy cup, if it's out there, we've tried it. And what I found early on, because he would only sort of drink a little bit, and I wanted to incorporate the work that we were doing with his oral motor skills shown on the oral motor skills technique video into real life drinking. Shout out to Coffee Club, they have these, they are amazing, and they're very firm, they don't come off easily. Very easy to clean, inexpensive again. And we would just cut down a straw so it was very, very little, and sit it in the top. If I can get it, sit it in the top. And he loved this cup. He loved it so much. It was one of the only ways we actually got him drinking. From there we sort of progressed to this one. I've cut the teat to make it flow more, and I've also cut the teat because we used to put the straws in there. It's a bit longer, so this is for when he progressed a little bit more orally, and I was able to put more fluid and just do it like that. This one here, so a lot of kids' sippy cups are huge, like they're just huge, and you either waste a lot of drink or it's hard to monitor how much they're drinking, because say you're trying to monitor him getting 30 mils per drink. It is very difficult to monitor. But I found these ones really, really good. They don't have a valve, they're easy to clean, and they've got a click top, which makes them sort of non-drip. So they were our 3 favorite drinking things. With regards to chaining, you've heard me talk about chaining and stuff like that in processes and in other videos with regards to eating. I'll post a article, if I can, in the description below that sort of explains chaining quite well, in my opinion. And just ignore, I guess, the nutrition side of it. Just focus on the actual process, because chaining is how we got majority of his foods into his daily intake. So with chaining, for instance, if he would accept a fish finger, I actually move that to a crumb chicken piece. So it's so similar. With the first chaining that we ever did was from Vegemite toast to Vegemite sandwiches, and from, well, lightly toasted Vegemite sandwiches, non-toasted Vegemite sandwiches, and then from crumb products, so we moved, say, a fish finger to a chicken nugget, and then to other breaded chicken, so like a schnitzel or something like that. These are all different in their mind, like they're all different foods, and I think that's really, really good to be aware of, because my son will only eat apple with the skin on, and he'll only eat a red apple, and generally it'll only be a pink lady apple. So one day I think his grandmother removed the peel. She thought she was, you know, making it all delicious and yummy, and she removed the peel from the apple, and then he wouldn't eat it because he kept telling her it was a banana. So I mean, when you're doing your tasting plates, perhaps present an apple with the skin on, an apple with the skin off, or, you know, whatever. Present varied sort of visual sort of types of the food. So maybe, like, if you, for instance, a carrot, you would do maybe a peeled carrot, a chopped carrot, a carrot like just like cut like just as a nub, just like the actual carrot. Yeah, just have it in a couple of ways. And when you do a tasting plate, so when you guys sit down together, have a couple of each thing, because it's a tasting plate, so you are expected to taste these as well. And, you know, you would say like, it's pawpaw, it's very firm, and you would eat it, and you would say, it's very sweet, it's very sweet, and it's very firm, and a bit grainy, and you would tell him what to expect as he eats it. The same sort of thing with the cashew. Like, a cashew is crunchy, it's salty, it's a bit creamy when you chew it, that sort of thing. An apple is hard and it's juicy, and it's crisp and it is crunchy also. So having that description process, and if, for instance, you've eaten a piece and they're telling you to eat another piece, like often they'll be like, here, you eat this, because they don't want to. So, and you can say, no, today I feel like I've had enough pawpaw. Not like I don't like it or I don't want it. I feel like I've had enough pawpaw for today. I might have some more tomorrow. And just sort of explain to them that you don't have to eat it all if you don't feel like it. Like, you can have one piece and you can be done with it, because you don't feel like 12 pieces of pawpaw. So getting that sort of vocabulary and sort of working with them, instead of saying like, I don't like or I don't want, it's just like, hold on a minute, I've had enough of that today. I'm done with that piece. Thank you, but I am done. So that's been our OT post for today. Again, I can go into some of these in more detail. There's a lot to cover. Apologies for the coughing. I still am getting over my cold a little bit. But yeah, if you'd like to hear more about it, comment, subscribe, let me know, PM me, I don't mind, and I can touch on a few of these in a little more detail. Thank you.